In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your front brake caliper on your Ford Focus. It's located behind your front wheel. We're going to press our brake pedal down and hold it there with a pry bar. You're going to want to do this anytime you do hydraulics on your vehicle, and that'll just make sure that you preserve as much brake fluid as possible so it doesn't drip all over the place too. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to remove our wheel. We're going to remove our hose from the caliper. I'm going to use a 13mm line wrench on the fitting and a 15mm wrench on this top part to keep it from spinning. Unscrew your hose from the caliper. I'm going to work it back and forth a little bit. Remove the hose. So now that we've removed our brake hose, we're going to take off our 2 bolts holding the whole caliper on. One here and one here. We're going to be using an 18mm socket. And get the bottom bolt as well. You have a hand on your caliper and remove it. Let's remove this spring clip, make it easier. I'm going to use my wire cutters to do that. Let's pry them out. Let's transfer our pads over. To do that, I'm going to take this one out, put it on the other side, and I'm going to push this pad out. You're just going to pull your pad out. Push this back in. And now we're going to transfer it over to our new one. Now we're going to set this aside and check our caliper out, make sure it's got enough silicone paste in the slides. Now we're going to make sure our pins or our slides are lubricated enough. It's always good to check that, even on a new caliper. As you can see, there isn't much there. So we're going to go ahead and add some silicone paste to these. And put some in there. Now we're just going to work it back and forth a little bit. And that's better. Okay, now we're going to flip this over. And we're going to put some silicone paste in here. And in here. Okay, so now we're just going to put some silicone paste here. And a little bit here. And use your finger and just spread it around. You don't want a ton, you just want a tiny bit. Just finger paint it on. Let's put this back. And now we can put our pads in. Now you're going to slide your pad in, make sure it's underneath and where it belongs. Once you got it lined up there, push it in. And now let's put the other pad in. And now we're ready to install. Now we're going to install our caliper. Make sure your pad doesn't fall in. Slide it onto the rotor and hold it still while you get your bolt started. Get your other one started too. Now we're going to snug these up. Now we're going to torque these to 129 foot-pounds. Let's remove this plug for our hose, and let's install our hose. Make sure your line is in the center, and thread it in. You should be able to thread it in by hand. I like to wiggle it just to get that fitting to move. If it doesn't go in by hand this far, then you're cross-threaded, so take it out and try again. Let's tighten this hose down using a line wrench. We're going to hold the other end still as we do that so that it doesn't swivel with the tightening. Really snug it up. Let's check our torque spec for our caliper, even though we didn't take these slide bolts out. It's always a good practice to make sure they're torqued accordingly. 21 foot-pounds. And we're using a 7mm Allen wrench socket. Looks good. Let's put those caps back on. And let's put our spring clip on the front. Insert on the top your spring clip and on the bottom. Once you get it started, push it in and put it on the bottom too. Then you're in there all the way, and these guys are on the ears of the caliper. Now that we are done doing our hydraulic work, we're going to take our pry bar out. We're going to pump it up. And we're going to do a gravity bleed. Make sure you have a drip pan below for our gravity bleed. Take off your cap. Use a 9mm line wrench. And loosen that bleeder. You're going to see air bubbles and some brake fluid come out, and you're waiting for a steady stream or a steady drip. Once you feel like it's a steady stream and you don't have any more air bubbles, you can close down your bleeder screw, spray it down, put the cap back on. This looks pretty steady, so let's do that. Tighten it down good. Spray it. Let it air dry for a sec. Put that cap on. What you want to do now is get in your car, pump up your brake pedal, make sure it feels nice and firm and at the top. If it doesn't, if it feels squishy and you got any travel with that pedal at all, you're going to want to do a full brake bleed procedure. Make sure you check your master cylinder and top it off. Put your wheel back on. And start your lug nuts. Start with your bottom one, walk the wheel on. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to torque our wheels to 100 foot-pounds. We're going to do that in a star-like pattern. You're going to want to clean and inspect the cap. Unscrew it. This says .4 fluid. Always look at your recommended fluid, either in your manual or on top of the cap. You're going to use a siphon of some sort or a suction thing to take out the old brake fluid. Make sure you have a pan to catch all the fluid. Keep doing this until it's empty, or getting as much as possible. Once you're done, you're going to put clean brake fluid in. Set your pan aside. Top it off. Make sure you fill it to max. Once you're there, you put your cap back on. When we bleed our brakes, it's going to be the right rear wheel first, then the left rear, then the right front, and then the left front. So now we're going to bleed our brakes. We're going to take the cap off our bleeder screw. And it's good to have a friend inside helping you out. You're going to ask him to pump it up. He's holding, and I'm going to loosen this bleeder screw with a 10mm wrench. It's to the floor. I'm going to close it down. And as we're watching the fluid go in, you want to make sure there's no air bubbles in there. Sooner or later that'll happen. Pump it up. He's holding. It's to the floor. Pump it up one more time. That looks pretty good. And you can close it down. Tighten it. Clean it off. And put your cap back on. Now we're going to go to our left rear. When you top it off, you want to make sure you hit where it says max on the side of the master cylinder. Once you're there, you put your cap back on. All right, here we are at our right front. We've topped off our master cylinder. Put the cap back on, and now we're going to bleed our right front. Take off your cap. Get your wrench ready, 9mm for the front. Get your drain bucket ready or your fluid catcher. And your friends in the car, pump it up. He's holding. Open it up. He's holding. Just to the floor. Pump it up. He's holding. Pump it up. All right, I'm going to clean it off, and then we're going to go to the other side in the front, the left front. Let's clean this off, put the cap on. And go to the left front. Top it off. Make sure you fill it to max.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.